Plans for a protest against King Charles and Camilla's visit to Canada next year are regrettable because to concerns that other protests would be sparked by response in North America. Richard Fitzwilliams, a royal specialist for Daily Express, stated that while previous royal excursions were generally beneficial for the company, things have changed recently. Regretfully, King Charles and Kenyans are now concentrating on the bad due to what happened to Wales, which is in the Caribbean, and then, to some extent, even though he handled it very well. Fitzwilliams is concerned that further protests against the royal family may result from open expressions of disapproval and a news media that is ravenous for stories critical of the monarchy. As soon as that occurs, more demonstrations will take place as a result of the coverage they receive. He stated that the legitimacy of the protest is another issue, but I do believe it is unfortunate since these are such worthwhile trips, and most people should be celebrating. He went on to say something that, hopefully, isn't true. However, I worry that people could emphasize the bad since it makes for newsworthy headlines, which would inevitably lead to an increase of protesters. The Queen will go with King Charles on the tour in May, which is anticipated to last a week. According to sources with knowledge of the plan, office officials have been closely collaborating with the King's advisors to devise a strategy for the trip that will see the royals encountering as little opposition as possible. The King is reportedly bracing himself for protests in the nation in response to polls suggesting that people are growing weary of the monarchy. Visit have informed the Mirror that preliminary conversations have sparked worries about the kind of welcome the King and Queen will get. According to sources, the trip's organizers are well aware that this will be a major test of his popularity when he makes his first visit to a British kingdom in his capacity as monarch. Only 14% of Canadians said they felt a connection to the monarchy prior to Charles's coronation in May, according to recent polls. Over 81% of people in the country said they don't feel that way. According to a study conducted by Canada's national broadcaster, 60% of respondents are against Charles being crowned King of Canada. Additionally, according to data from the Angus Reid Institute, only 28% of respondents say they have a positive opinion of the monarch, while 48% do not. Additionally, the data indicates that demonstrations at royal occasions seem to be increasing, and 63% of Canadians say that the nation should reconsider its links to King Charles III. An engagement in buys on the first day was hastily cancelled following a protest by some locals with another on the day they arrived in Jamaica. King Charles's expression of greatest sorrow and deepest regret over colonial atrocities British forces committed in Kenya during a visit in late October was met with mixed reactions in the East African nation. Cambridge's visit to the Caribbean in March of last year was overshadowed by passionate opposition to the monarchy. The two nations had to relocate, according to historians and human rights organizations, who were not impressed by the monarch's deliberate word choice. Beyond clichés, it has been revealed that the royal family spent at least £2 million of taxpayer money on private aircraft and helicopter trips in a single year. One of the royals' expenses was a flight to see a rugby match, which could have been made by train. The tons of CO2 equivalent that were pumped out could have powered 300 homes for a year. The Mirror reports. King Charles only made an appearance at the COP28 summit in Dubai last week, where he delivered a comprehensive speech on the significance of climate change and warned that the world is woefully off track on climate targets. However, the King's efforts to promote a cause for which he has spent years advocating for a charity that addresses climate change could be undermined by news of the firm's emissions. The royals have been criticized for using extremely wasteful private jets. From the beginning of the year to the end of March 2023, the royal family spent a total of £3.9 million on travel, with at least £45,336 spent on charter aircraft, according to the Sovereign Grant Fund, which serves as their public purse. Among the flights mentioned was the King and Queen's March flight between their homes in the United Kingdom, which cost thousands of public funds. For their first formal state visit since taking the throne, they boarded a chartered jet to Germany, spending £146,147. For her Platinum Jubilee travels to Australia, £18 flew in private aircraft. The cost of Prince William and Princess Kate's travel to Boston for the Earth Shop was $48,000. The total amount includes early staff visits that were planned for the same year, and the pair was able to board booked aircraft. The royal family's cost for chartered and helicopter flights exceeded £2 million, with a total expenditure of $112,297 on 179 flights. The yearly business travel of the royal family consumed 1,615 tons of CO2 equivalent in the same year. This is similar to the emissions from 314 residences' annual energy consumption, or more than 4 million miles driven in an ordinary gasoline-powered automobile. Climate charities Alia Warrington. It's possible that private aircraft should be outlawed since they produce enormous emissions and are extremely inefficient. The royals should lead by example, and it is unacceptable for them to fly about on them, especially while utilizing taxpayer funds. Royal Travel, according to Buckingham Palace, plans transportation for members of the royal family by balancing safety, security, efficiency, and the desire to cause the least amount of disturbance to others. When available, sustainable aviation fuel is utilized. The guy now overseeing King Charles's health is a physician who uses complementary and alternative medicine, homeopathy. Before taking on the role of the royal physician, Dr. Michael Dixon spent more than 50 years working for the NHS. According to the Mirror, he traveled to Germany and Kenya with King Charles. He currently does general practice part-time out of Compton, Devon. Dr. Dixon is well known for using remedies like African shrub and devil's claw to alleviate pain and horny goatweed to cure impotence. He leads the College of Medicine as its chairman. The college is a campaigning organization that has been pushing for funding for the use of herbal treatments by the NHS. The Sunday Times claims that Charles 75 has long been an advocate of natural remedies. Data suggests that the effects of homeopathy could be genuine, according to a statement made by Dr. Dixon. He mentioned a study that shown combining herbal treatments with alcohol may destroy breast cancer cells. He went on to say that evidence-based treatment is not the answer and that it is untrue that science has shown homeopathy to be nothing more than a placebo. A spokesman for Buckingham Palace told The Guardian that Dr. Dixon believes homeopathy can be used in conjunction with traditional treatments, but he does not believe it can be a cure for cancer. Dr. Dixon is a practicing general practitioner, a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, a former chair of the NHS Alliance, and a former co-chair of the Nation. The Times claims that Dr. Dixon was appointed the King's head of the Royal Medical Household, a role created by Queen Elizabeth II in 1973 until he took over.